Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Doge Experience. No. What is this? This is a daily brief recap. Actually, I didn't do one of these yesterday. I filled in for Julian on the daily brief. So we didn't do a public one, and actually, I'm taking next week off. So, when the school's on hiatus, they're all doing their exams and stuff. So, think I'm actually going to lay a little bit low for the next week or two. Won't do so many videos and stuff. So if anything, miss me dearly. And if anything, when I come back, we'll be full of piss and vinegar and ready to take on, hopefully, a nice cleaned up market. There is the old adage, sell in May and walk away. So, if this happens to have been around this Coinbase event, well, so be it. It is interesting that the altcoin market, people have colorful expressions for it, but that sort of lower tier cryptocurrency world is really coming to life of late. Feels almost like it's a reflation trade. A lot of names that were basically, there were some social media influencers over the past year or two that were like, you're throwing your money away if you buy an altcoin, and unfortunately, very egotistical, very sort of peer pressury. I don't know whether I'd really think that that's wise investing to get too wrapped up in the emotion of all of this. If anything, I would suggest what you just simply do is try and step outside the box. Don't be too wrapped up in the actual story. You might have to do this a decade or two. Keep in mind, I've been at this game a long time. To be able to just sort of step back and go, these prices seem a little expensive. Or, gee whiz, these prices seem awfully cheap. Bottom ends of ranges, top ends of ranges. Force yourself when you're coming against bottom ends of ranges just to start accumulate. Especially if the public is like, this stuff is garbage, it's crap, it's no good. I thought it was interesting. A week or two ago, I touted one cryptocurrency, and while I was on the air, somebody even said, well, that coin's dead. And I noticed that it's up about 30-40% today, so I must be doing something right. So, the appreciating what a sort of washed out market looks like, that's tough for new people. But for heaven's sakes, when an asset is doubling, tripling, quadrupling from where you bought it, for heaven's sakes, pay yourself a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to sell it all. Yeah, maybe just spoon feed the market. Just slowly sell into the rallies. This is venture capital, especially if you're involved in cryptocurrencies. Which means, by definition, they are volatile, right? They always say commodities are volatile by nature. And I fully believe that cryptocurrencies fall under the commodity classification. So, don't chase. Don't take too much risk. Pay yourself as the market moves up. And afford yourself the opportunity that if an asset continues to continually move up, that you continue to participate. Sell half on double, sell half on triple, whatever. And don't call tops, because you never know. Sometimes the top that comes in will just make your previous top call look almost comical. So that's my advice for you. 30 years in the game. Of course, that's extremely boring. And because I don't like people chasing, ironically enough, the stuff that I'm actually buying in the marketplace, most of the public is not even the slightest bit interested in. So, and then, of course, when the public does get interested, I'm on the sell side. So, go figure. our breadth indicator, things are pointing up, but that's looking kind of dangerous. I mean, choppy, choppy, choppy. Could we have, swing up, swing down, swing up, swing down, swing up? Could we have a swing down here? Take us back down into these key support levels here? Sure, no problem. And if like the Coinbase equity offering was sort of the big pump up to get the market jazzed, sell in May and walk away. Here we are in the middle of April. What a seasonally, conveniently coincidental. It wouldn't surprise me. No idea where the hell tops are unless we start getting big fat M's coming into the marketplace, and I don't really see them either. We're just grinding higher here on the S&P, made another new high. The oil market finally turned around and actually is now Wing here. So it turns out first 2 weeks oil isn't nearly as weak as we thought it was. Remember I'd said earlier, was this being artificially held down while that Coinbase thing was getting going? As soon as the Coinbase thing happens, boom, that jumps up. And of course, crypto stocks top out. Bonds, getting some traction here. We got the big breakout bar, and it looks like we're trying to close 2-day confirmation above this double bottom level. That should theoretically bring the stock market back down to earth, but we'll see what happens. And the gold is, 2-day confirmation continuing that signal as well. Really tried like the dickens to sneak in off of some big gold stocks and just wasn't able to get any fills. Boo, hiss, hiss, boo. One thing I did notice, as you see here, the small cap sort of venture part of the stock market, not very happy right now. It is coiling up though, so we might get a nice little blast here. But the one part of the market that actually was green on my screen today was the junior sort of VCIM gold stocks. So, there's probably good reason why to have some gold in your portfolio. That sometimes, if the broader sort of growth story in the equity market is weak, that the gold as a hedge offsets that weakness with some green. It was really interesting to see this M top come in on the Bitcoin price itself, and of course we are on the other side of this massive bow tie. So, it almost kind of looks like symmetrically, something along these lines, eh? Can you sort of see the wave of the ocean? So, I suppose pullbacks against key support, it would be realistic. It wouldn't be shocking. Some cryptocurrencies that jumped up appreciably here this morning. I suppose we'll talk about that in a bit. I did do some selling into the event. And I sell into Bitcoins. So actually, I'm going to convert those sales into actual dollars on a tag of this area in here. Got those orders working. So didn't really want to get sort of wrapped up into the FUD of whatever the dump was, and it turns out that I first thought it was the Hungarian cabbage crop that stopped the bull, but actually I think it was the Turks outlawing cryptocurrencies. I mean, in my eyes, the Hungarian cabbage crop probably carries more significance than the Turkish central bank. But this was sort of the story overnight that sort of caught the market's attention. I might argue that this is still sort of playing out that Coinbase buy the rumor. What's the fundamental reason to be invested once that's done? And I just can't think of too much right now. And of course, if you look at this on a little bit higher time frame perspective, we're awfully nosebleedy. We've come an awful long way. And I've been sort of thinking, like I'm going on vacation next week, maybe the next couple weeks. I don't know. We'll see if how my face down in a ditch experience goes. But I really wouldn't mind a nice little healthy pullback into some support levels, maybe against previous lows, just to clean up the excesses. Could this continue working its way higher? Sure. Any old damn thing it wants. My hunch is your resolution of this. Do we actually go and W out here and break out and close on a weekly basis above here? That'll tell you that this thing is going to continue on. If, however, we roll over here and start breaking down and emming out, then you know that the correction is underway. But right now, just a big hurry up and do nothing. You just got to wait. There is no signal one way or the other. And this is an expensive asset in my eyes. There's no way in hell I could go buy that. In fact, stuff that I'm selling into this, I'm saying, fuck it, man, just get it into cash. And let's just, cool our jets. It's interesting how Ethereum kind of took a punch in the nose there last night. And I suppose off of the weekly chart, it probably looks similar to that Bitcoin chart. Actually, it looks probably even a little better. Again, are we getting a little nosebleedy up top here? Maybe. Could we use 38.2s back against these lows just to clean things up? Set a base for our next sort of big summer push. I like that thinking, but so what? Just because I like that thinking, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. Is this the top? Is this going down? No. Simple as that. And what I found interesting today, ETCs, they're coming to life. what's the other one? BCH, it's coming to life. BSV, even Mr. Dickhead, he's coming back to life. So, there's the reflation trade, I think, is the dominant message. And if anything, looking at Litecoin today is, to me, that reflation trade. Where, and actually I was showing, I've got a matrix here that I follow. Look at the difference. I mean, Bitcoin, it's got a top. At least Ethereum, it broke to new highs. Bitcoin's total divergent there, right? And then look at Litecoin. Woohoo! I'm on fire. Look at the shitcoin perp. Woohoo! So, this is a tale of two different markets right now. You want to see the perfect analogy of the tale of two different markets? Actually, I'll show you a couple images. Number one, this is sort of legacy, the stock market people participating in crypto. There's nothing here. Outside downside key reversals. And the problem is if you go through all of these sort of stock market proxies, they all look like shit right now. Because frankly speaking, I don't think they're investable. This is the big blockchain ETF. Outside downside key reversal confirmed. See you later. Get the fuck out of that thing. Mara, of course, I've told you I'm long from a million miles ago and I'm just spoon feeding. But there's a big M. Can't touch that. If anything, the only one that looks good here is Mr. Novogratz. That's a V top, so we should expect that high to be tested anyway. But holy volatility, Batman. I mean, look at it. It was here, then it went here, and now it's basically half of that range. I mean, that's not investable. The irony of it all for Mr. Novogratz is I was long his stock, and I fucked this up, no doubt about it. I was long. I followed my plan, so that's the important thing. Follow your plan, do the right thing, right? So I took my long shot down in here against these lows. It started to fail, and I was like, fuck it. I don't want to take the chance. I'm out of here. So I did the right thing according to my plan. He came out shortly thereafter, and he says, fuck it, man. I got to buy the damn stock. Insider. And he goes and buys like 10,000 shares. And, of course, 10,000 shares from $1. How do you think he's feeling right now, cocksucker? I mean, that's almost $500,000. Son of a bitch. Way to go, you bastard. Anyway, point of the matter here is this is well done, Mr. Novogratz. And really, probably a good lesson for all of you. If you hear the CEO of a company come out and the stock's breaking down and they come out and they're like, screw it, man, this is a bottom, my stock's a buy, and they go and buy 10 G's worth of their stock, maybe just go and strap the stock back on. Anyway, nicely done, Mr. Novogratz. Hats off to you. Like I said, I played this rally through names like Mara, and I ain't got nothing to complain about. And I thought it interesting, some of these miners that we've been selling, this is not bullish. That's an ugly looking price chart. So stock market wise, I think the story's over. That Coinbase IPO, I think, was the story. And until this thing, there isn't enough data to even look at a price chart here. Remember, you have to go look at the old FTX chart, and it turns out the bottom's somewhere around $200. So this thing could still fall $100 here, no problem. And interesting on these ETFs, diamond top, signal fired. Diamond top, signal fired. So actually both of those fired bearishly. Then, like I said there a moment ago, like the big sort of crypto story, I invest in Bitcoin. Well, this is a waste of your time. It's just sitting there. In fact, like I said, I'm more than happy to convert Bitcoins into cash right now. Because frankly speaking, I think Bitcoin, like this, I could easily see this ETF come right back down into these levels, no problem. And like this big Bitcoin ETF, I mean, look how far it's coming. This is all open holes here, people. Be careful. With regard to the corn itself, I think I've told you guys that I'm letting some go up here in the 50s and 60s, but I'm more than happy. I don't know where to show you this. I guess we'll just go here. I'm more than happy to just start drawing 50% rules and throwing bids to buy those sold coins right back. And, 50% rule, heaven forbid, but, stranger things happen in this world. That's, boom, $34,000. So I do have bids down in this area working. I mean, I hope for your sakes it doesn't just collapse here. It's going to be mentally debilitating. But don't kid yourself. This is a stunningly risky market. And I've said this the whole damn way up. You're really a smart trader. You're a wise trader. You came in fucking Kavarkinator like a boss, and you bought there last year. And you should be spoon feeding into the market and just like, oh, you walk on water. You're so awesome. Here, sir, have my panties. I don't need them. Now, I will say there was a trade that I did recently that's basically along these lines, and I feel pretty damn good. I mean, I don't know. Hey, you like that one, Kevin? I always know whether the lines fly if I can get a smile out of Kevin on these. But I did buy this funny little thing here last year, and needless to say, we've been handsomely rewarded. Put out lots of tweets and stuff. Unfortunately, this is my stock market screen, so I don't want to show you it on here. But this was sort of our big winner du jour, and it's so funny when these silly little coins go absolutely apeshit like this. Because one coin can just totally distort your whole portfolio. So, Brian, I don't like to take more, than 5% portfolio risk. So, I think the account's sitting about 100 G's or something like that. So I was okay putting 5-10 grand into this damn thing. And that was like back here. Where's the best place to show you? One of these screens I had a pretty cool setup here. I don't know where it is. There it is. Hey. So I've got tons and tons of Doge. I mean, it's ridiculous how much Doge I have. But the reason why is because all last cycle, I mean, you see how long this thing's been around. All these cycles, I was buying against the bottom, sell half on a double. Buying against the bottom, sell half on a double. Buying against the bottom, sell half on a double. And ironically enough, my old objective was, I always said, this gap right here should be filled in. And people used to laugh at me. Well, who's laughing now, eh? Woohoo! So, the most recent go, sort of, 2018, 2019 meltdown, well, I put myself back on an accumulation pad. And these particular coins, these are the ones that I'm trading right now. The other big stack, I'm just leaving alone. And believe it or not, my upside objective on that big stack, call me crazy, is actually up in this sort of $1.50 area. And I'm going to let the big stack go up top there because the whole purpose of this whole thing was to try and buy Liam a house. My son is low-functioning autistic. He is 100% dependent, one-on-one support 24/7. And, I've got all the supports in place. The one sort of unknown is his housing. And I could pass away, and feel comfortable. If I go buy them a house, it's in trust, and I've got a nice little fund that pays property taxes, insurance, maintenance, all that kind of stuff. And then I know that even if the government claws back some of sort of his one-on-one supports, at least he has that home for the rest of his living days. Nobody can take that away from him. And that has been my overriding objective through this whole thing, is to how do I set my son up. And I have made the mental decision that if and when we trade up into this $1.50, $1.60 area, somewhere up in that area, I'm going to let the rest of it go. And that should be enough money to go and buy Liam a house. So if anything, good karma. I'm not even going to benefit from this. A special needs kid that needs a home for the rest of his living days, that's where my money in this idea is going. So FYI there. The lower time frame trade, believe it or not, actually, I'd like to go and buy these damn coins that I'm selling here. I'd like to actually go and buy them back, damn it. So believe it or not, while I'm going, I don't have a problem. I think I'm just going to go throw this stink bids right back in at the bottom end of the range, and let's see if through May, June, July, keep in mind, cryptocurrency is insanely speculative. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen here. But if the market does pull back into reload zones and stuff, I might actually just go buy all of these coins right back. But this was a nice trade today. It looks like I got off a half decent feel. Maybe a bit early here on this sell, but that's not the point of this exercise. The point of this exercise is don't get into the business of calling tops. Just don't do it. Why? Because you might have decided this was the top and I'm going to sell everything here, and then a few months later you go, oh man, you don't know how many times I've seen this in capitalism, and this is the way people get rich through capitalism, is they just leave some on the books, and if this damn thing keeps going higher, fine, just keep paying yourself over and over and over. So this is a really simple strategy if you've never watched this before, of basically owning the market, coming in when nobody, tone vase, altcoins are dead, they're shit, they're garbage. If you buy altcoins, you'll lose money. Well, Tone, no offense, but that was 100% wrong. I mean, I'm not telling you what's right or wrong in this world. I mean, there's a million different ways to skin the cat, and I don't think anybody should be saying this is going to happen, that's going to happen, guaranteed, because nobody knows what the fuck's going to happen in the future. But what I like is when I hear people saying this thing's garbage, it's off the board, it's worthless, you're never going to, like I said, there was a name I bought the other day and somebody said that's dead, that's over. And now, look at the damn thing. I mean, that's not dead, that's not over, that just keeps working higher, and that's another buy signal to me. But the reason why they're talking that way is because if you zoom out, this is the chart that they're looking at. Where is it? And anybody who participated, where the hell is that? Well, anyway, anywhere through here, well, yeah, they're pissed off right now. They're not happy. And they would probably think this dead. But gee whiz, coming against the bottom end of ranges, what's Brian thinking? So, it's a crazy analogy of this crazy game called capitalism. I'm not going to bet the farm here, you know that. But just like Doge, same logic. Force yourself to come in against the bottom ends of ranges, and you never know what the fuck's going to happen in this world. So, that's what I really teach, is more... somebody actually coined it really well recently. I am a trading behavioralist. And what I do is I help people with their behavior. If you're trading a highly speculative market, coming in and being Mr. Big Shot and calling a top right in here, that's not in your best interest. It just isn't. And I would caution people and say, you know what, maybe just spoon feed. You don't know what's going to happen down the road. That's sort of setting yourself up in a position of strength. if you're gonna buy, okay, fine, don't take too much risk. But as soon as it doubles, well, great, get yourself into a risk-free trade so your anxiety level goes down. When your anxiety level goes down, your behavior improves. When you don't have any risk, well, okay, fine, the market paid me again. I don't have to sell everything, and sure enough, through this, well, so what? Mr. Musk and his buddies are all, still super bullish. Well, let's just see what happens. Oh, great. Hey, look, I sold another half on a double. Hey, look, I sold another half on a double. Never expected that to happen. So, that's all about behavior. It's not really calling bottoms or tops. It's just how do you behave in the market? Those are the kind of little things that I like to pride myself on teaching people. And I think that's actually a huge part of the value proposition that I bring to this space. Got my little darlings. Of course, I've been touting Ubic. What do you think? Weekly chart. Anybody's ever taken my educational program, I kind of like weekly W's. They usually produce these kind of rallies. So, gee whiz, here comes another weekly W. Looks great. Geo, same thing. Hello, weekly W. Is anybody talking about either of these names right now? Not that I'm aware of. And yet, to me, they look fucking awesome. So, that's the kind of market it is. Are you going to get 10x on your Bitcoins here? I don't know. Could I see 10x on something like a Ubic here? You tell me. I mean, look at that chart. If anything, this guy's long overdue. I think a lot of people were ready for the moonshot here, and they got one more final fuck you. This thing looks like it's ripe. It's ready, and they've even cleaned out the weak hands here. I'm not telling you to buy this. I couldn't give a rat's ass if you buy it or not. I'm telling you, I'm long, and oh boy. I plan to make a bit of money. And of course, you want like real-time visualization of what something might look like later. And there you go. So, get out there and have some fun in the market. I'll tell you that much, by crackers. There was a cool little trade that I picked up overnight. This is a bot setup. So just because I'm going on vacation, I won't be doing site videos. I won't be doing your free YouTube videos. That doesn't mean I'm not trading. I mean, trading's in my blood, so unfortunately it's not really like I even have a choice. I'll probably be I could be stranded on a desert island and I'll still be drawing price charts and coming up with imaginary buy and sell signals. But hopefully you can look at this and understand the logic of why I'd be interested in a name that looks like this. Pretty straightforward. It's not rocket science. It's just it's a simple trade setup that's worked for me. When I'm wrong, I lose $1. But if I'm right, I make $3. In this kind of situation, if I'm right, I'm actually maybe even able to sell half on a double and establish that risk-free trade. We'll see how it goes. Really all depends on my mood. I mean, sometimes these things just blast higher and it'll be up here when I actually have to make that decision about whether I'm going to sell it all or not. I might just knee-jerk throw up half, add double, just to have that order working, and let's see what happens. But, here's a great example. This has nothing to do with Bitcoin. I suppose it is sort of to a certain degree that DeFi kind of proxy. Nothing to do with the stock market and crypto and stock. Is it a trade I would be willing to take? You can see I was filled. So enough said. On a side note, I actually did discover today that Binance actually, I think they're actually running two different order books. There's an order book that you think you see in the public eye, and then there's, I think, reality. Keep in mind, these exchanges are 100% unregulated, and I caught them today. I have the screenshots that clearly show where my order should have been filled, where my order should have been on the order book, non-existent. So it clearly shows that, for me, if I was a regulator, I got them. I actually have the physical proof that they're actually crooked. Go figure. Does anybody give a fuck? I doubt it. And as long as Binance can get away with this and no sort of big fat cat gets screwed, they're going to keep getting away with it. But it was really cool. If anybody ever comes to me and says, oh, no way, CZ, he's totally on the up and up. There's nothing nefarious here. I actually have the physical proof in the form of screenshots to show you that actually they're crooked. So go figure. Of course, I always make a lot of friends with those kind of statements. Frankly speaking, I couldn't give a shit whether these people like me or not. What I want is the truth. What I want is transparency, fair playing field. I mean, half of the reason why you people like crypto is because of how crooked Wall Street is and how unfair it is. Well, I hate to say it, this CC guy, he's just as crooked as Wall Street, and he'll skim off for profit if he can. And I mean, I said this to the community today, and it's just a word of warning to you. The Chinese culture does not care if you were taken advantage of. In fact, in those situations, the person that is taken advantage of is actually considered the stupid person, the idiot, the fool. I don't want you to be a fool. I don't want you to be an idiot. Just be careful dealing with this exchange. I now have the physical evidence that actually they're crooked. Will it ever come to the point where actually I have to, point it out in a court of law? Well, I'll be more than happy to if I do get subpoenaed. My hunch is one day this thing will blow up just like every other little unregulated nonsense. At one point a few years ago, everybody was in love with Arthur Hayes and BitMEX, but you don't hear much about him anymore. So just be careful, okay, people? Don't have all your money on any one exchange. Don't fall in love with any one operator and think they walk on water, including Brian. I'm just another idiot in the market. Don't take too much risk. Try to vet your reason why you're actually doing something ahead of time, i.e. setups. What are my 3 unrelated reasons? And actually, probably the best thing to leave off with here is, for heaven's sakes, when these assets move, force yourself to pay yourself. Force yourself. Because these things are volatile as hell. I could go on vacation, this damn thing could be right back down here. This could be a shooting star by the end of today. And if you didn't pay yourself, well, you missed the boat. So just be aware of that too. All right, everybody. PMA for the win. Fascinating times we live in here with capitalism. Be nimble. Remember what your number one job is. I don't want to hear anybody on TRI or even anybody on this YouTube channel, if the corn happens to come off here a good chunk over the next few weeks. I don't want to hear anybody talking about wrecked. Yeah, in fact, you should all be doing very, very well right now. So make damn sure to pay yourself on the way up. All right, everybody. Have yourselves a great day. Have a great week while I'm gone. All the best. I might do broiler chickens. I don't know. I'll think about it. Don't take no wooden nickels. Remember what your number one job is. All the best. And bye for now.